Hello and good afternoon. My name is Jeff Belville, and I am coming to you live from Eugene, Oregon, here on the West Coast. And I'm so excited that you've chosen to spend a part of your Wednesday evening with us. It is going to be a really exciting next 45 minutes or so where we go over something that is just really sweeping the nation. And it's a very exciting project that's being launched. And so I want you to know, if you've been invited to this broadcast, you're one of just a few people who are invited to join in on this little webinar tonight. And so I like to make it a little bit more personal than just being on a webinar. And so I do like to give some shout outs because I do know that there are some people of excellence and integrity that I want to mention because there are just some incredible people out there. So some of those people are like Ani Holub and Deb. I always mess up pronouncing your last name, but let's say it's Savigo. I always mess that up, but they're plugging in from the Corvallis, Oregon area, but I understand that they have some guests. Wyatt, who lives in Corvallis, is in Portland or something. Welcome, Wyatt. Really nice to meet you through the screen. We've also got Ben, and I believe his mom, which is from the East Coast as well. So thank you for plugging in. We've got people in the Wisconsin marketplace with John and Mary Montag, with Betty Ferber, Jessica Waldron, and a few others. We've got San Antonio, where you've got the Craigs, Julian Herschel, and some of their amazing team like Tina Tab and just amazing individuals. We've also got the Sacramento area with Patrick and Amy Smith. The Washington, Seattle area. I was just up there last night. Absolutely awesome people up there. So if you're in any of those places, or maybe you're just in Oregon and you're just tuning in, we're really excited that you spent a little bit of your Wednesday evening to check out something that is really sweeping the nation. It is something that I have to be honest with you, in my 10 years of being a part of business and owning my own businesses throughout the years, I've never seen anything like this, and the timing is really unparalleled. See, there's one thing, obviously, to have the content of what you're doing in business be incredible, but when you pair it with timing that is impeccable, that can be transformative. And so I want you to know, I'm going to share a few things with you, and I'm going to start with my story, because for me, I started out owning my own business, and there's a lot of reasons why people become a business owner or start out in the industry of home-based businesses. And when I ask a room full of people why they would ever do such a thing, like start a business, oftentimes they'll come up with things like, I want more time freedom. Freedom is a word that comes up quite a bit. Maybe being able to be your own boss, or maybe having more income. Some people just want to make some money. I was in that category when I was 17, 18 years old, starting out on my first journey in business. And some people are more philanthropic and want to just really be of service to people, help people through the art of business. Now, what's amazing about jumping into your own business is you really get to learn, okay? And so I learned a lot of things over the last 10 years. And it has taught me incredible lessons in how to generate income and how to add streams of income and the value of having freedom. And so I was on my 5th or 6th business project, okay, some traditional, some not traditional. We had reached a mid-6-figure income, and being in my 20s, that was something where I learned how to spend money really quickly. And I was always kind of searching for a way to become more financially educated. I think if you ask the average person, there's always going to be someone who, most people are going to say they would like to master money, or we all know those people who have mastered money, or we talk about, oh, they're really good with their money, right? And so even though we were generating all this income from our different businesses, what I recognized it's not so much about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. So all of a sudden, what happened to me was I was going through the ropes, and my mentors in business, people who I had honestly spent years following, 6 years. I mean, these guys, I first met them in the nosebleed section of a stadium, looking down. They trained millions of people on the power of owning your own home-based business. And so as the years went by, we got closer and closer to these individuals, and Jennifer and Darren Dowd. And what happened was I learned so much about their integrity and their character and just who they were when I got the phone call that they had made a decision to make a career shift and walk away from millions of dollars of residual income. Everything kind of, I don't know if you've ever had one of those moments where it just goes, and it was slow motion all of a sudden. I went, how in the world could you walk away from $6 million of guaranteed income? What would be attractive enough to leave that comfort and go and create something new? And I said, well, you're going to have to learn about Tranont. And so they didn't tell me what it was. I actually ended up getting on a plane the next morning, and I flew halfway across the country, and I met these gentlemen. I met people who honestly are some of the most incredible business minds that I believe have ever walked the earth. But what's crazy is, as I was sitting there in front of the founders of Tranont, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight, they started telling me their backgrounds. And one, Jake Spencer, is an individual who I've known for years. He is an amazing co-founder of Tranont, and he sits on the board of the Direct Sales Association. Really powerful individual. Okay, and then we also have Lauren Berry, who's the founder and CEO of Tranont, and he actually was the founding member in a company that became Ameritrade. Okay, so that's a really significant name in the world of stock trading and business. And so the fact that he was the brains behind that technology, amazing. I began to feel smaller and smaller and smaller, because as I learned about Scott Bland and Russ Losey and the companies that they've helped build that reach beyond $1 billion in revenue, I knew that what I was looking at was going to be solid because of the people it was attracting. And so what I'm going to tell you today and kind of share with you is just the story of Tranont and how it's transforming lives, but most importantly, how we are innovating an industry and how we're the first to do several different unique things that I believe will cause us to remain the fastest growing opportunity in North America, but also transform lives at an unprecedented rate, because at the end of the day, everyone wants and needs this level of automation in terms of what we're doing and what we're creating. And so all of a sudden they told me it was financial education. And I was like, what does that mean? And I realized that my vision in business had always been to help people. Like, I always wanted to help add an extra stream of income to your life. And so if I could put $1,000 into your monthly budget, that would make a difference. 5,000, 10,000, we help people do that over the years. And what happened was I recognized very quickly that that was not the solution to the problem. Because when people moved out of their tax bracket, the education wasn't there. And so what happened was, yeah, you guessed it, they spent more, always a little bit more than they made. And it continued to happen. And I kept seeing these trends, and I recognized that America is facing some hard problems right now. 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Okay, that's a significant kind of scary statistic. But that means that 80% of us, if we miss next month's check, it would be devastating, right? And so what I'm about to show you is an answer to many of the problems that the American people face. And the way that we're going to do this is underneath my face right now on the YouTube stream. In the description, there's a show more button, and you can click on the show more. That will actually unlock a link. It says follow along here. You click on that link, and it's going to show you this page digitally. Okay, it's just the easiest way I could get this in front of you. I always try to make it a little bit more personal, like we're breaking past the screen here. But we gotta love technology. So this link is gonna be significant for you, because we're gonna walk through boxes 1 through 9 pretty quickly. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint this picture of how Tranont is changing the world economy one household at a time. And it's so significant. So again, the link is under my face under show more. Follow along here. You click on that link and it pulls us up. Now, box 1, this is the building that I walked into in September. And I sat down with those co-founders, and absolutely changed my life. That day, I will never forget that day, because at the end of the day, made the decision, me and my wife made the decision to walk away from a 6-figure income in the home-based business industry that we had generated for 6 years. And so we walked away to do Tranont just as our mentors did, okay? So it's crazy as we flung ourselves out there, total faith move, right? But what in box 2, what Tranont is doing is so profound that I knew that we could actually replace our income in a short period of time. I'm going to share with you how we did that. So box 2 is really the collection of services that we offer as a company that is targeting the financial education sector. Okay, and we offer 3 categories of services. And the first one's in the gray box right here. It's a gray box, and that is called the Tranont Core. Okay, so I love the core services because it's a subscription that allows you access to 7 pieces of technology that will automate your financial life. It'll help anyone from any background, tax bracket, race, creed, religion, whatever, automate their financial lives and master money. And I just really appreciate that, because I've been looking for each of these elements in my life, not just as a business owner, but in the world of personal finance. You're looking at the most advanced tools that I've been able to find on the market. So what we're going to talk about them. The first one is Tranont OneView, and OneView is a great app on your phone that actually allows you to look at your entire financial life in an instant. Like, it's crazy because all of a sudden the last 90 days of spending flashes onto the screen in fun graphs, and you get to see some trends and some good and bad habits, right? And so most people go, oh my gosh, I don't want to know how much I spent on food or coffee, which are the highest categories of spending. But then not only is it going to reveal information, it's going to give you smart budgeting tools to be able to track, manage, and maintain a healthy budget for your life. Now, this is the first time in my life that I've actually had a living budget, okay? I've tried the envelope system, I've tried many other things, but OneView has changed the way that we manage money in a very positive way. The average user is going to spend 10% less of their disposable income. The second part of the core is Defend. Defend is going to literally be what protects you and your family against a lot of the cyber threats out there. So Defend is fantastic because I didn't realize this, but the fastest growing crime in the nation right now is identity theft. And the age group that gets their identity stolen the most is actually people who are 12 years or younger. Crazy. So having a proactive approach to defending and protecting what you have and your assets is very important. So Defend is not only going to protect your social, it's also going to protect your technology. So your computers, tablets, phone even, they will monitor and clean, like they'll do the tech support for all that. It is awesome. It really is great. And then they also do social media monitoring and Cyberhood Watch, which means you can see how creepy your neighbors are. It's like kind of funny. But anyway, Defend is awesome because it usually costs $60 to get all that together in one place. It's included in the core. Super cool. Next point is Tranont Tax. Now, one of the things that I always say or ask is, what is one of the biggest reasons people start a home-based business? And most people will say deductions or tax write-offs, and I'm like, absolutely. I've been a fan of that for 10 years, and I've written off a ton of money. Ton of expenses as valid, legit business expenses. But I didn't realize that I could have automated my life using Tranont Tax, okay? So I love TaxBot because it was developed by Sandy Botkins, who's a tax attorney. He actually hired and trained IRS auditors for a living, okay? Sounds like the most invigorating job ever. But what's great about this tool is TaxBot is going to allow you to classify your trips. And so like I just drove up to Seattle and back yesterday, which was a 12-hour journey, right? I just get to save it as a business expense, and it adds it to my total deductions at the bottom of the screen. So this is like a video game for entrepreneurs because you want to see how high you can get that number. So in like 7 weeks, I've been able to deduct and track $10,000 of write-offs, which I never would have done by saving receipts or doing the booklet thing with a car, okay? So I love TaxBot. The average person is going to save $300 a month. For me, it's a whole lot more than that. but that's a great part of the core. Next part is Tranont Legal. Tranont Legal is a way for you to have legal representation. You're going to have a team of attorneys that work to protect you as well. So this means you can have 24/7 advice, legal advice. That's awesome. They're going to also do document reviews and letters on your behalf, make phone calls on your behalf, but also do defense in court and traffic violations, which I'm totally okay with, right? So next item is Tranont Tax Prep and Services. They're also going to show you the best way to position yourself to keep more of your money. Do you know the average rate that Americans get taxed is 35%? Isn't that just kind of crazy? That means the average household loses $15,000 in taxes each year, and which isn't a terrible thing, but if you're an entrepreneur, the tax code was written for you. You should be taking advantage of what you can get. So you're going to have a CPA at Tranont personally file your taxes or file your personal taxes each year, included in the cost of the core. And then if you get a corporation set up, they're going to do the corporate filings, which yesterday I was in Seattle, one lady said, that's going to save me thousands of dollars a year. Absolutely. So this is really a cool part of the core. Next part is the most popular part of the core, is the credit services, okay? Credit services are amazing. Why? Because the average person, I don't know, you tell me, does the average person have challenged credit or excellent credit? Challenged, right? I mean, ask any car salesman. They'll be like, oh gosh, I see it every day. But the credit services are so vitally important because I didn't realize how much credit affected life. Like, I didn't realize that your car insurance rate depends on your credit score. Your employability now depends on your credit score. And the big one is interest rates when you finance things. So the average American who has $15,000 of credit card debt, which is like a staggering statistic to me, and they're paying 15% on that money. Imagine if we took the score from average to excellent, what that would do in terms of saving you money, right? So start thinking about, do you have a car loan? What if we renegotiated that interest rate? Do you have a mortgage? What if we took that interest rate down just 1 point? What would that do over 10, 20 years, right? So you can see these credit services will start patching up the holes in your financial life and allow you to start making and keeping more of your money. Now, what's great about this is they're going to go after the bureaus. They're going to fight on your behalf. It's a really neat process because they're honestly kind of ninjas, and I love them. My score went up 50 points the first week or so, and we have some extreme examples of people having their score go up 200 points their first 3 weeks, and student loan debts forgiven because there was a problem with the documentation. I mean, they are incredible, incredible soldiers. And so I love that. Now, Tranont Health is the latest addition. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar that Tranont is innovating a few things in the industry. Well, we are the very first of our kind to attack the health industry like this. Let me explain. So Tranont Health, first and foremost, is a telehealth way that you can actually get healthcare through your phone, so you don't have to sit in the waiting room at urgent care or the emergency room if it's something that can be handled over a virtual consultation. By the way, the American Medical Association says 70% of basically medical conditions can be worked on via a virtual consultation. So you get on a FaceTime with a doctor and nurse whenever you need it, and they're going to help fill a prescription, do whatever. Really incredible service. But in addition to that, we have launched a medical cost share program through Tranont Health, which will allow people an alternative to health insurance. I don't know about you, but after November 8th, everyone's kind of going, well, what's healthcare going to do? What's it going to cost my family? What's it going to really look like over the next year, 2 years, 3 years? And so what's beautiful about this is we're the first direct sales company in the industry to launch into a health insurance alternative called medical cost share. And it is so awesome. It's saving people tremendous amounts of money. I won't get into details there, but people are stoked out of their mind to finally have a valid option that makes sense and is budget friendly. Now, and I swear, look into it. It is the coolest thing that Tranont's doing. So that is the core service. And all those parts of that subscription are included for a cost of $125 a month. Now, at first glance, I thought, oh, that's kind of $125 a month, right? But when I really looked into the value of what each of these pieces of this core service is doing for my household, it's saving us thousands of dollars personally, but the average person is going to save around $800 to $900 a month just by utilizing and activating these parts of the core. That's amazing. It's patching up holes in your financial life. And so no, $125 a month is a killer deal to get all of this value in one place for you, and it's automating a lot of areas of life that we just don't really want to deal with, right? So really powerful part of the core. Every household needs a core service. But the next item that's really neat, the next category of services Tranont has, is actually licensed products. Let me explain. What they're going to do is they're going to show you how to take money that you didn't know you were spending. Okay, so when we save your household money, what do most Americans do when they save money? They spend it. No one's ever gotten that question wrong. So what we're going to show people how to do is graft that savings into a wealth plan. A wealth plan. We're talking like a hopped up wealth plan that grows at compounding interest and gives people the option to retire faster than they're expecting to retire. When I ask the question, who here wants to retire in a room of 100, 200 people, every hand goes up. When I say, who here wants to retire with more money, every hand stays up. And when I say, who can tell me when they're going to retire with exactly how much money they're going to retire with, every hand goes down, except for like one, and it's because they retired last week, right? So I want you to understand that this is another very relevant topic for Americans today. As the baby boomer population, the largest generation, is retiring, everyone's realizing that their lifestyle is having to change. I don't know if you've noticed it, but there's a lot of people going out and getting a job because Social Security is not cutting it. Tranont has an answer. They're going to use the core to help cut waste, plug it into some kind of a wealth plan for you, which could lead to options for you down the road. Okay, so you're going to get a 2-hour appointment with a licensed wealth specialist who knows their stuff. They're going to go over your financials together, and all of a sudden you're going to see things you didn't know were possible because of this financial education. It's magical. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And so people come out with hope and emotional oftentimes. That's really neat. And I promise box 2 is like, we're going to spend the most time here, and the rest is going to go pretty quick because I like to keep these around 30 to 40 minutes, okay? Now, the next and final category of services here are the retail services. So Tranont is comprehensive. We're not just saving you money, we're growing your money. It's something that is going to basically automate a lot of different processes for your life. But then if you want to add some streams of income to your life, you can do so with the retail services and make personal residual income by referring any of these services. Now, before you think that you have to become an expert or do sales or anything silly like that, what's beautiful about this is that your phone is going to have an app called Tranont Builder. You're going to be able to go onto that app and click on refer to a merchant account. So maybe you like a coffee shop and they have the swipey thing, right? The credit card processing. You can refer that coffee shop to National Processing. National Processing guarantees savings to that business, or they'll give them $500 just for taking a look. Well, if they acquire that customer, all of a sudden, guess who's making a percentage of a percentage on every double caramel macchiato that they sell? You are. That's how simple it is. You don't have to know anything. You're just the connection. You're just making the referral. So maybe it's a TV service. Maybe it's a business phone service. Maybe it is a Tranont Solar. Maybe you want to make money on the sun. It's a great concept. Tranont Solar is very, very lucrative. Every time you refer a system that gets installed, I like to say solar system because it seems so intergalactic, but every time you install a solar system, that's an average referral fee of $1,000. That can really add up, okay? So background checks, even home security. I mean, a lot of people are interested in home security, right? You can just make the referral through your phone and boom, the expert at the other end of the line does all the work in closing your customer. So box 3, you start out making 10% on the volume of the service. That might not seem like a whole lot to you right now, but I'm telling you, I've built in this industry for 6 years and the max that I could make was 10%. And now you're telling me that by referring about 21 services, you're going to generate 35% on the billable volume of each of those accounts that you just referred with your phone, that's craziness, because it can mean hundreds of dollars of recurring income. Now, I don't know if you've lived a residual income life. I have for a few years, and it was the most coolest thing ever that I can't even use correct English to describe it, because when you know that you're getting paid while you sleep and you're getting paid money based on work and time that you did years ago, oh man, you can start thinking about palm trees and white sand beaches, right? Because that is what I believe the American dream should be, is having time freedom with money freedom. I mean, that's what it's at. That's residual income. So that's the first way we create residual with Tranont. But I'm going to show you how we replace a six-figure income in 43 days over the next boxes 4 through 7, okay? So I'm going to just tell you how we did it. That'll give you some perspective and hopefully empower you to go out and add a stream of income to your life. Now, you can just become a customer and that would benefit your life. That's what I love about Tranont, is there's intrinsic value in what we're doing. We're not selling a soap, lotion, potion, juice, coffee wrap, patch thing out there. We are adding value by financially educating using these services. Now, what's neat about this is if you do become an associate, it's very simple and cost effective to do so. It's like $349 to become a business owner in Tranont, an associate. And that includes your first month on the course. So all you pay month 1 is $349. Awesome. So cool. Because I don't know about you, but my first business cost me 30 grand right out of the gate. That was what it cost just to get the equipment. And so I want you to understand this is amazing, because they're going to provide the financial education, all the technology and apps and stuff they've designed for you. You've got the marketing platform, the business management tools to grow your business, customer care, and they're awesome. I mean, it's great. All you're doing is plugging into the system that's already been built for you. You don't have to reinvent this wheel. Then you're acquiring customers using the system, and you're acquiring associates using the system through the little app by sending out videos. It's really simple to do. And then you're helping other people do the same and duplicating your efforts. And I'll explain that in just a moment, but I want you to see this, because $349 means that you can now own a home-based business and start writing things off. That in and of itself is going to make you so much money. But look at this, the gold package, that is a great package because it includes a corporate entity. So you get a corporation, okay? Platinum is total estate planning. It's worth mentioning because that's usually 3 to 5 grand to get that. Boxes 5, 6, and 7 are our compensation plan based on building a team of people doing what you're doing. Okay, very simple to do, because I don't know if you've ever seen a really good movie or have had a great pasta dish somewhere and you just loved it so much you had to tell someone. That's pretty much what this is in a business form. It's going to pay you to connect people to the information. So I'm going to show you how to connect people to this information. You could do it through a webinar. You could do it through a 3-way call or just sending a video through your phone. It's very simple to do. But when we get 3 associates on your team, you're making $100 a month residually every month. And as of today, the March bonus, which they just announced, obviously just today, if you do your first 3 in your first 2 weeks, they will send you $350 in commission, which means you just got your money back, right? Then box 6, when you help your 3 little blue people here, they could be green or orange or whatever, your 3 people, let's say Bob, Sally, and Tom sign up in your team because we showed them the information, right? They're going to get their 3 people. So Bob's going to get his 3 people, Sally's going to get her 3 people, and Tom's going to get his 3 people, okay? Once you have all those people, those 12 people on your team, you've now qualified for a Jeep. Yep, you are now going to get a Jeep bonus every month of $500 that they're going to pay towards a Jeep of your choice. Whether it's new or used, lease or buy, whatever you want, they're going to send you $500 a month just to have that car. Now, why do they do this? Outside of being super awesome, which they're just super awesome. I love Jeeps. I just love them. They're the second highest resale value of any car in the nation, and 90% of people have a car payment. The average car payment, according to Dave Ramsey, is $470 a month. So now if we take that 400, 500 bucks that's leaving your household every month, and you don't have to pay that anymore because now you got a new Jeep, we can put that into a wealth plan and generate a retirement income for you. It's crazy, you guys. This is what Tranont's doing. We're changing the way the economy works by education. So chill. So chill. Now, another thing. This is another March bonus. If you get to FC and get your 12 in your first 30 days, we just had a few people do that in the last week. What the company does is they send you an additional $650. So by getting 12 people in your group in your first 30 days, you make $1,000 bucks. That's awesome. All right, just had to mention that because it's brand new. I'm really excited about it. Okay, box 7. This is the meat and bones. Okay, so there's more numbers and columns here, and I'm going to describe them and make them seem really easy and simple. Okay, first thing I love about box 7 is this is transparent. This is just no smoke and mirrors. You can see everything right here. And I love that about Tranont. There's no like funny percentages or things you have to figure out. It's just completely right there. So each position pays a certain amount of residual income by building a team of people who are acquiring people on the core services and the retail services. So you achieve these ranks in the left-hand column by getting volume. You have to have a certain amount of personal volume, or PV, that's the second column here. So you have to have $100 of volume yourself. Now the core counts as $100 of volume. So you already got 100, right? Then anytime you refer someone into Tranont, that counts as your qualified group volume. So if someone signs up in Tranont under your team, like Bob, Sally, and Tom, I don't know how I remember those names, that's going to be $100 volume each for a total of $300 of qualified group volume. See how that works? The more people that join your team, the higher this number gets. And I love it. I have to give a shout out because we had a brand new promotion last night at midnight that happened. Our senior financial consultants, Josh and Alicia Lindsay, hit that position. They've got actually well over $7,500 of volume, or qualified group volume. So you can see that they hit SFC by having about 75 people on the core service in their team. That's not a lot. And what's cool about it is a few people got a few people got a few people. It wasn't like they weren't going out and getting all those people. He works like 80 hours a week. She is a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids. They're super busy. They were able to fit this into the cracks of their life, and now they're generating $1,900 a month in residual income on the side. Like, that is the coolest story ever. Okay, so SFC is a great place to get to quick. But look at these other positions. You can start generating some pretty ridiculous residual income. So our team grew to 2-star SFC. Like, that's a position we hit in 60 days. That position pays $6,000+ a month. What's nice about it is it comes every month as long as that volume remains. And so what's neat about 2-star SFC is I built a team of several thousand people in a different venture years ago. That paid me less residual income than a team of 200 in Tranont. Like, anyone who's familiar with compensation plans and understanding how these things work will know that there's no other marketing platform like Tranont out there. It is the most genius, coolest thing that I've seen. I've looked at hundreds of businesses. People have pitched me all kinds of things over the years, and this is really the cream of the cream. Okay, so obviously, you can let your mind wander and look at CEO and realize that only takes 10,000 people on the core to get to $130,000 a month. That's wild. The people who signed me up in Tranont, they and their friends built a team of 150,000 people in a matter of a few short years. Now understand that Tranont, you're seeing this at the very beginning. I didn't mention this because I wanted to see how committed you were. If you're still watching, like, here's the thing, like 20,000 people are in Tranont right now, which means you're the first of a very few people to even know about what this is. So that means that you've arrived at the ground floor of an opportunity that's revolutionizing the direct sales industry by paying out 70% plus of every dollar that comes in back to the people. They're revolutionizing the industry by offering the health share program. And they're revolutionizing the industry by allowing you to write insurance and become a part of a book of business. I'm just going to briefly mention this next way that we get paid because it's not even on this form, but I want you to understand that there's other levels of income that you can access through Tranont. And that is life insurance. Now, when they said life insurance, I thought, I'm like, okay, my brain's gonna fall out. What does that even mean? Well, just like Warren Buffett uses life insurance policies to generate wealth, well, so do we. And so we're gonna show you a very creative, innovative, and unique way to generate wealth using an indexed universal life policy. I didn't even know what any of those fancy words meant, so don't worry if you're in the same boat as me. All I knew was that if Warren Buffett, Mitt Romney, a lot of these financial great people who know what they're doing are using policies, I should pay attention. And so I recognize that as you build a Tranont business, people are going to want these policies because essentially we're teaching people how to become their own bank. And that's such a neat concept because don't you think banks make money? Why do they make money? Right? Because they have all of our money. And so if we can become our own bank, that philosophy started to blow my mind, and I realized that Tranont is really actually changing the world's economy one household at a time. So if you want to become a licensed agent with Tranont Life and write policies, you can do that. You can make great money on that end. Believe me, there's some crazy money in the world of insurance. But on a higher note and an even bigger picture, Tranont's building a book of business, which is a portfolio. It's a collection of life insurance policies that will grow in value the bigger it gets. So by the time we hit 150,000 policies, it'll be worth $1 billion. And we already have a buyer. Actually, we have 3 buyers fighting for our book. We're projected to hit that book sale in 3 years. And what happens is Tranont's going to take 30% of that entire book of business and spread it throughout the licensed agents in Tranont Life. We're like VPs. And what's crazy is that you and I now have the opportunity to take part in a $300 million payout. So if you represented 1% of that book by having a team that grew to write 1,500 policies, that would be a $3 million day for you. I just want you to see that there is a bigger picture here. That is another first in the industry. No one's ever done that before. These insurance companies have been doing book sales for decades and decades, but never has a direct sales company allowed us, the people, to be a part of something like that. Boxes 8 and 9 are really the method, the how. How do I build this? How do I talk to people? How do I invite people to look at this? Well, it's really simple. And we're going to show you step-by-step how to do this the right way. There's training online, there's webinars, there's events you can tap into in your marketplace, well, around your marketplace. We're still so small, you guys, that we are pioneering every marketplace. I've been to Texas, Wisconsin, California, Washington, obviously Oregon in the last few weeks, and I know that everywhere I look, people are wanting this. And I'll leave you with this. This is how we're going to close this thing out, okay? Do you have a plan in place? That was something that my mentor asked me a long time ago. Where do you want to be 5 years from today? And are you making the money that you want to be making now with the lifestyle that you want to have now? And do you have a retirement set up? Well, 5 years from now, unless you do something different today, odds are you're going to arrive 5 years from now with the same exact answer to that question. So Tranont is a great vehicle. We're not a perfect company. We're newer. We're debt-free. We're solid. They built billions of dollars of companies before. We know what we're doing in business, and we're going to build this thing to hundreds of thousands and millions of members just in the next few short years. You're just one of the first to see it. So I don't know. If you are open to making more money, then yeah, I'd say join our team. We can have success together. If you're coachable, if you've got a desire, and if you want to go out and do this. Now, here's what I know. It's never better in business when you get in on that timing. And you've just been invited to look at this by someone who really cares about you. And I know, like Deb and Ani and a lot of these people who have been inviting for this call tonight, this webinar, there's some people who are viewing in from their living room with a bunch of people in it. But I want you to understand, and maybe even future people are viewing this webinar, which is really kind of crazy to think about. But just know, if they thought enough about you to bring you to the table on this, they're only showing a handful of people because they're only showing the people they want to work with. So feel loved and know that if you want more money and more time at the end of your month, that this is an incredible way to do that. And if you've already got all the time and money in the world that you'd ever need, then I know that you have a heart for the people around you that don't. And this is an amazing, amazing vehicle for anyone to tap into, to master money, to automate their financial lives using products that everyone's kind of actually looking for. And we're doing new things that haven't been done before. We're going to take this company to $1 billion. You're invited to be a part of that. So my name is Jeff Belville. Thank you for spending a part of your Wednesday with me. And I look forward to having you join our team if that's what you want to do. If not, awesome. Just get a plan, find some vehicle that will get you to where you want to be so you can take some of those dreams off the shelves and start living the life that you're designed to live. So you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. I'm going to have the person who invited you call you right now. So anyone who's plugged in, call the person you invited to be on this webinar so that they can share their personal vision of Tranont and why they're so impressed with the core services. So you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thanks for plugging in. God bless.